Mẹ, con không mang màu bên đây.
Hello, this is 6 minutes English.
4, 5 bằng 10.
Hello, this is 6 minutes English from BBC Learning English. I'm Phil and I'm Georgie. For me, there's nothing like reading a book, and I love turning the page and the smell of the paper. But nowadays, the fact is that much of the time we read from electric screen, not paper. Yes, like Georgie, I love books. I also find that too much screen time hurts my eyes. But the availabilities of digital information mean I end up reading from screen most days. So apart from short eyes, it is a problem. E-reading from screen harmless, or could it be damage us in some way, such as reducing our attention span, the length of time that someone can keep concentrate on what they are doing. That's what we be discussing in this program. And of course, we'll be learning some useful new vocabulary too. Great. But first, it's time for my question. Whether you prefer paper or screens. As humans, we are now reading more words than ever before. So how many words does the average person read a day? Is it 50,000 words, B 100,000 words, or C 200,000 words? I'll guess it's 50,000 words a day. Okay, Georgie, we'll find out the correct answer later in the program. Of course, there is little doubt that any kinds of reading is good for you. Here is Gridia Cove, author of the How to Train Your Dragon children's books, speaking with BBC Ideas. Reading brings 3 magical powers: creativity, intelligence, and empathy. Reading for the joy of it is one of the 2 key factors in a kid's later economic success. You are more likely to not be in prison, to vote, to own your own home. All of the advantages and benefits happen as a result of literacy. Cressida talks about the importance of reading for the joy of it. When you do an activity for the joy of it, you do it simply for the pleasure of doing it rather than as a way to gain something else. Cressida lists the many benefits of reading for children, including economic success in later life. But many of the benefits depend on a stage known as deep reading. Analysis takes to understand its deeper meaning. And in test after test, researchers have shown that deep reading skills develop better when kids read from books. Professor Marjan Wolf is a teacher and advocate for children's literacy around the world. Here she explains more about deep reading for BBC Ideas. When we read at a surface level, we just getting the information, and when we read deeply, we use much more our cerebral cortex. Deep reading means that we make analogies, we make inferences, which allows us to truly critical, analytic, empathic human beings. The reality is not what or how much we read, but how we read. That's really important. The very volume is having negative effects because to absorb that too much, there is a propensity towards screaming. Professor Wolf research shows that reading from screen encourages reading at the surface level, quickly and superficially. Looking at what can be easily understood, reading books, on the other hand, activate different areas of the brain, allowing a reader to develop positive traits like empathy and to understand the deeper level of a book, including analogies and inferences. An analogy is a comparison between things that have similar features. For example, you might talk about human heart using analogies of a pump, and inferences is a guess, opinion, or conclusion that you make based on information you already have. For example, seeing smoke in the distance, you would make an inference that there is fire. It's this type of deeper, more subtle understanding that we get from reading books. So, why is it that reading from screen doesn't develop this skill in the same way? Well, the answer has to do with the volume. The sheer number of words, pings, and notifications that screens bombard us with every day. Instead of deep reading, this encourages screaming, reading rapidly in order to get a general overview of something. I think it's time to review the answers to my question, Georgie. I asked you, how many words does the average modern person read a day? And I guess SE was 50,000 words. Well, you were half right. In fact, the correct answer was double that, 100,000 words. Right. Let's recap the vocabulary we've learned from this program, starting from attention span, the length of time that someone can stay concentrated on one thing. If you do something for the joy of it, you do simply for the pleasure you get, rather than as a way to get something else. The phase on the surface level describes looking at something quickly and superficially, rather than trying to understand it through different meaning. An analogy is a comparison between things that have similar features. For example, a human heart and a pump, and an inference is a guess or conclusion conclusion that you make based on the information you already have, like inferring fire from seeing smoke, and finally swimming ear reading rapidly in order to get a general overview of the text being read. Once again, our 6 minutes are up. Bye for now. Bye.